Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is March 9, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the markets taper off and unchanged after the major sell-off we had the previous day. No major economic events scheduled for today. So pretty much across the board, we're watching the same thing. Starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs pretty much unchanged day to day. Looking at the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, the indices, we saw really little change and tapering off. Looking at the commodities, gold and oil, also pretty much unchanged day to day. And looking at the stocks, tech stocks look strong, but Tesla trading lower. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, also trading lower as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're starting out with the Euro USD, and you can see pretty much not changed day to day. I mean, we just did consolidate around this area of 0.055. Nothing doing really after this major sell-off, and this is one of those type of nosedives that you cannot expect in the markets. Now, we are on supportish level, and we didn't break lower, so there is a likelihood that we'll bounce off of this, but we need some sort of catalyst. Yesterday, the Fed Chairman Powell spoke, but didn't give us any catalyst for us to bounce higher, as you can see here. Now, looking at the other major Forex symbols, the GBP USD also just jumping off of that support level as well. 118.42 was the support level for the GBP. And looking at the Australian dollar, looking at the Canadian dollar, yesterday we had a rate statement, and you can see we faltered further. We got even weaker versus the US dollar as it's inching closer to supportish level, or really resistance-ish level at 139, support for the dollar, but resistance for the Canadian dollar at 139. So if it does break above that, and it may, okay, it really may, you got to keep an eye on this. However, keep an eye also on oil, because USD Canadian dollar is very much linked to oil, so keep that in mind as well. Now, jumping into commodities, see gold pretty much just settled 1817, a support level there. Didn't break low. So again, I expect some sort of bounce at some point. Looking at crude oil, we faltered a little bit further, $76, but really unchanged day to day. For all intents and purposes, just faltering and tapering off a little bit lower. Now looking at the Dow Jones, yesterday we sold off a little bit further, but at the end of the day, we made it back. So really unchanged day to day from our yesterday's sell-off. Now that sell-off did have some volume to it, so there is some gusto. Now, we do have support at 32,600, so keep that in mind. If we do break that, that's a potential something to look at if that does get broken. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, didn't break lower. Tech stocks are strong, so if we look at the tech stocks, let's start with them. Apple sold off a little bit, but day-to-day really unchanged and showing some strength. If we look at Facebook, also showing some strength and recovery yesterday, despite the fact that the markets did sell off. Microsoft also showing some recovery. Now, these are not the stocks that I generally cover, but NVIDIA and some of the chip stocks like Intel did gain nicely yesterday. We're going to take a look at Intel. That was the leader of the pack. And look at that, from $25.45 up to almost $26 a share. That's a half a buck for Intel. That's a strong move for a computer chip company. Now, looking lastly at Bitcoin, we're trading lower at 21,666, not doing much here, and just breaking that and inching closer to our support level of 21,400. So keep that in mind. Now, there is one other thing that I did skip over, so we're going to go back to it. Tesla did sell off after making that nice pivot up to 209. Now, we are at supportish level. This is a decent supportish level to find ourselves. So I do expect it to bounce off of this level. So keep that in mind for that later today as well. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.